Your community, your elections. WBRC, you decide 2025.
And we at WBRC are committed to giving you all the information you need for Election Day. That's why we've invited all 9 Birmingham mayoral candidates here to answer the questions that are most important to you. And joining us today is Mr. Frank Woodson. Mr. Woodson, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be asking you the same 3 questions we have of all the candidates, 3 minutes for each response, and then we will allow you to watch those at home. Our producer in the booth will keep the time. Let's jump into the first question, which involves public safety. It's a question that so many people get in this race. What would your administration do differently to improve both the reality and the perception of public safety in the Magic City?
Well, it's going to take a minute to change the perception, but we can begin by changing the reality. Public safety is the issue, not homicides. Our violent crimes have continued to increase. We've got to have a strategy that has to do with dealing with the problems that are in our streets today and making sure that we shut down the hatcheries that produce those problems. That is to say, by strengthening those families and building security to make sure that those children that are being raised in our homes are not going to the streets. We've got to attack it from that side with extracurricular activities for our children. And then we've got to build our police force. There is no solution to crime in Birmingham, Alabama, in public safety that does not come through having a fully staffed police department. I think we are down about 600 police officers right now. We've got to recruit the best and the brightest. We've got to have a clarified vision for what we're doing with our public safety, that our residents once again know the names of the officers and community policing returns. But we've got to have an accepted leader in the forefront and an agreed upon methodology. And that is to say that we understand how we're going to go about it as a community. I dare say that one of the greatest things that we need right now is leadership. We need a leader that is okay with having strong leadership, and we'll bring in the best and the brightest, men and women who have the respect in that career field. So I'm confident that as mayor, that I will recruit the best and they will build a department in which all of us feel safe. And the last thing is this right here. For 10 years, I've gone to the police chief, I've gone to the mayor, and I've asked them, please put regular police officers on the 911. Because right now, it's not an issue of just snitching, it's an issue of we don't have the confidence that those calls are secure. I've been through that myself when I've called 911 because I've heard gunshots in the western area, and people have come to my door saying that the 911 operator has given them all of my information. I didn't mind because I want to live in the kind of community where we look out for one another. But there are people that are afraid. We've got to build that partnership between the police department and all of our residents in spite of political agendas and the like. We've got to build a city that works together for all of us.
Mr. Woodson, thank you, sir. For question number 2, a question about how your administration would both recruit, retain jobs and companies in the Magic City. How would you create more jobs, keep folks who have graduated from local higher education and universities here to fill those jobs? The administration work in that respect.
That question is economic development. First and foremost, we've got to have leadership in the area of economic development who actually understands it. I know that when I go to the EDAA conferences a couple of times a year, they tell us it doesn't matter how beautiful the business district is if the community behind that business district is experiencing decline and collapse. It's got to be a holistic piece in that we've got to develop and clean up the communities behind our business districts. Right now, many of our communities are facing collapse. And so what we've got to do is stabilize that community. I've got experience in working with the Obama administration in 2008 in stabilizing the communities. And then also, I work with the Riley administration in creating the Land Bank Authority. I was the chairman for 4 years. And I know how to stabilize a community, and then I know how to use the land bank in a way to attract those businesses. When I was on the steering committee for Blueprint Birmingham, where we were going as a region with economic development, I met for a year with the CEOs and leaders of this community. In the 11th hour, we took out the small businesses out of the implementation plan, and we also took out the neighborhoods. We've got to put them back in, and at the same time, began to do the workforce development component. That is to say, to partner with the state of Alabama, who I already have relationships with, to create an apprenticeship program. The drugs and the crime and all of that has to do with economic development. Investors want to come to a city that is serious about it and fixing the issues that are on the backside of economic development, which is community development. We'll become a city that is welcoming. I've heard too many stories downtown about businesses coming and the red carpet not being rolled out. We will be a city that takes that economic development department and turns it inside out and say to the small businesses, we're going to figure out a way to cut you in as opposed to exclude you. And two, those businesses that want to come, our teams will be prepared to come and work with you and plow the way for you to settle into this Birmingham region that we call home.
Mr. Woodson, thank you. Finally, you mentioned, briefly touched on it, but this is actually the subject of our third question, and that is every mayoral cycle we tend to hear from the 99 neighborhoods that make up the city of Birmingham that perhaps too much attention is being paid to the downtown business district and not enough to redevelopment, to reducing blight and empty lots in their neighborhoods and abandoned homes. What would your administration do differently in a concrete manner to both revitalize those neighborhoods while not allowing the downtown business district to suffer?
I think that we have to be a city that can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can be compassionate to the homeless population, but at the same time protect the rights of the businesses, especially those small businesses that have invested their families' earnings to open up a business and to live out their dreams. I'm going to have a Birmingham neighborhood stabilization program. Before you can ever revitalize a community, you have to stabilize it first. 30% of our communities are in decline or neglect. Another 30% are in decline, and another 30% are in collapse phase. We've got to, through the neighborhood stabilization program, we've got to stabilize the community in such a way that it attracts people to come back home. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to take all of these abandoned lots, probably some 30,000 lots, and if it's next door to your house, if you care for it for 6 months to a year, we're going to give you that lot. I know that we can do this because I was chairman of the state's Land Bank Authority. And to our young people that want real affordable housing, we've got 20,000 vacant homes, and we're going to take those vacant homes. We're going to clean the liens off of those homes and the back taxes. We're going to put our young people, our seniors, our veterans into a home ownership program. And whatever the cost is for the rehabilitation, if it's $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, that will be your mortgage. That's real affordable rents for working class families. I think we forget sometimes that $175,000, $240,000 is not affordable mortgages for working class families. I've heard your cries, I've heard your concerns. We're going to make sure that we invest in the people, just like we've invested in a dome, in a stadium, we've invested in an amphitheater. Now it's time for Birmingham to invest in the sons and daughters of the coal miners that made this city great.
Mr. Woodson, thank you for your time. A reminder, Municipal Election Day comes up August the 26th. The polls will open at 7 a.m. and they will close at 7 p.m. And once they do, we will be your local connection for all the results that night. So many races we'll be covering for you. WBRC.com, our WBRC News app, and our live coverage beginning first at 9.